Jill Valentine's later evolution into a battle-hardened, world-weary bioterrorism agent didn't come out of nowhere. The seeds were planted in the original mansion. Problem, most players were too focused on surviving the zombies and dodging the hunters to notice. This video will explore the subtle, early character clues that foreshadow her future transformation and ask if Resident Evil gave her the justice she deserved. Welcome back to the world of survival horror. Jill Valentine didn't become a warrior overnight. The mansion shaped her, broke her, and we all missed the moment it happened. Jill's transformation into the woman that we see in Resident Evil 3 onwards already went underway in Resident Evil 1. And did Capcom even realise it at the time? See, players at the time saw her as easy mode, extra inventory slots, and starts with a gun. But you can see that she was never just the female character option. Back in the mid-90s, when games were still struggling to write women beyond damsels or sidekicks, Capcom did something different. They gave us a woman who was just capable, if not more so than maybe her male counterpart. And what's more, is they didn't just make a big deal out of it. She was just on the team, doing the job. Chris was the muscle, Jill was the brains. Not weaker, not easier, just different.
Would you let me have my moments too?
All right. We'll rendezvous at the heliport.
Capcom built her to be methodical, intelligent, someone who solved problems with tools and not brute force. And that wasn't just an accident. They didn't just slap the words on there of strong female lead, or put her in the stereotypical tank top. Well, I mean, that came later.
Don't think about it. We're gonna make a run for it.
Come on, Jill. We know how this ends.
No, I don't.
Are we still a team?
Always.
Then do me a favor. Don't fuck up like I did. Go!
In Resident Evil, they just made her strong. The kind of character whose competence speaks for itself. You only notice how well written she is if you're actually paying attention. And no, I'm not talking about the voice acting here.
Barry!
What is it?
Look out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of it! What the hell is this thing?
I found Kenneth killed by this thing. Let's report this to Wesker.
Think about it. In an era dominated by over-the-top action heroes, Solid Snake, Super Mario, even Lara Croft, Jill Valentine, by comparison, was calm, collected, and technically skilled. That shouldn't be groundbreaking, but back then it was. It wasn't just for show either. Her skills, her composure, all of that comes from her background.
But Barry, didn't you say you were going back to the dining room to find other clues? I'm glad and all, but why are you here?
She wasn't made for horror, she was built for tactical precision. But when the mansion turned into hell, that's when her training became survival. You see, Jill Valentine is former Delta Force, and that's not just some background story, it's elite tier military. That's the kind of unit that only takes the best of the best. Delta Force isn't your average soldier squad, it's Black Ops, counterterrorism, deep infiltration. You don't just get in because you're good, you get in because you're exceptional, and that's who Jill was before the nightmare of the mansion even started. Now, we don't see this in game, and only Barry gives us a subtle clue as to her skills, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But you see, STARS wasn't just pulling cops from the local station, although they could apply, which we saw in Kevin from Outbreak. But they actually built a team from the ground up, grabbing specialists from outside of the force. Military vets, tech experts, bomb disposal. So when Jill got picked, it wasn't because she worked her way up, it was because she was already that kind of person they were looking for. Highly trained and highly tactical, ready to handle extreme situations. She wasn't trained for the streets, she was trained for the battlefield, and you can see it in how the team's structured. Take Rebecca Chambers, for example. She's the newest member, and she made it in because she was a medical prodigy, a genius, sure, but she's not combat ready.
As soon as Richard gets better, we'll come after you.
Rebecca, you okay with a gun?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to continue my investigation.
Jill, though, she had both the brains and the tactical field experience. So when Barry calls her the master of unlocking, it's not a joke, it's respect.
Oh, I almost forgot. It's a lockpick. You'd make better use of it.
And she's the one who opens doors, literally and figuratively, while everyone else is just pointing guns at them. And that's not just lore, it's baked into the gameplay. Like I said before, people say Jill is easy mode because she gets more item space or she solves puzzles quicker. She gets a lockpick instead of just brute forcing everything like Chris. But in my opinion, they aren't shortcuts. That's not easy mode. It's the game telling you that she's better prepared. Training teaches you how to check your corners, secure doors, windows, and use speed and precision when clearing a room. It doesn't teach you what to do when the dead get back up. Jill may have had Delta Force experience, but none of that prepares you for dogs bursting through windows and corpses that won't stay down, and rooms that seem to change when you're not looking. It's not war, it's psychological warfare, and the rules don't really apply. Everything about the Spencer mansion is designed to disorientate, locked doors, fake keys, hidden passages, puzzles that make no sense. A maze built to break you down before anything even touches you, and slowly you will actually see Jill start to bend. The confidence gives way to paranoia, the composure slips as the bodies pile up, and when she starts to realise that someone inside of stars is behind all of this, that's the final snap. It's not just betrayal, it's confirmation that she was never meant to survive this.
Wesker, you're pathetic.
Well, you shouldn't worry too much, dear. You'll be free of all this anyway.
Why eliminate stars?
Believe it or not, that's Umbrella's intention.
Jill survives the mansion, just barely, but what awaits for her on the other side? Silence, suppression, and a system just desperate to bury the truth she's just clawed her way through. She doesn't come back to medals or recognition, she comes back to a cover-up. Umbrella is still operating, STARS is shut down, and the police either too scared or too bought off to care. She reports everything, the bioweapons, the betrayal, the bodies, and what does she get? Ignored, discredited. And it's not that they don't believe her, it's that they don't want to.
Chris, Jill, Barry. Every last STARS team member has disappeared. We should have listened to them.
What happened?
About 2 months ago, there was this incident involving these zombie-like creatures in a mansion located in the outskirts of this city. Chris and the other STARS members discovered that Umbrella was behind everything, at the risk of their own lives, but no one believed them.
Resident Evil 3 Remake nails this. That opening, Jill in her apartment, staring at the wall, losing sleep, hallucinating, it says everything without saying a word. She's haunted, she's unravelling. It's not just trauma, it's betrayal-induced trauma. Because, not like the monsters that broke her, it's the fact that surviving hell, and nobody cared. That's the shift. That's where Jill stops becoming a cog in the system and becomes a threat to it. By the time Resident Evil 3 kicks in, Jill isn't the same woman from the mansion. She's not just trying to survive, she's trying to expose everything.
It's true that once the wheels of justice begin to turn, nothing can stop them. Nothing.
She's got nothing left to lose, and Umbrella knows it. Again, Resident Evil 3 Remake does a far better job of depicting this with all the notes and the documents found in her apartment. Jill Valentine didn't just survive a zombie outbreak, she survived being erased by the very system that sent her in. And when the world stopped moving like nothing happened, she didn't. She remembered, she fought back, and she turned her trauma into resistance. Because in Resident Evil, the scariest thing isn't the virus, but what happens when the truth gets buried, and no one's left to dig it up. And as bad as things got in the mansion, that trauma, well, that's nothing compared to what Wesker puts her through in Resident Evil 5, but that is a video for another day. But speaking of better truth, there is another story that got left in the dark. Before Jill, before the mansion, something happened on that train, and Resident Evil 0 left behind way more questions than it answered. So we're going to jump into 6 unsolved mysteries from Resident Evil 0, and you can see that in the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see survivors next time. Or put her in a stereotypical tank, or put her in the stereotypical tank top.